What is up, guys? We are back with another video, finally. I know it's been a minute. I got a new job, so I have been reading less because my job, my new one, basically I just read all day, technical papers, and it's boring as hell. So I feel like I have less energy to read stuff I actually want to read because I've already been reading all day, you know what I'm saying? So I've been reading slower, but I did finish a book recently. It's called Intimacy by Hanif Kureishi. And it says Intimacy, a novel, but it's only 118 pages. So it's more of a novella. And it's an interesting book. Basically, it's about a man who's on the eve of leaving his wife and his two children. He's in a unhappy marriage in London. He's been cheating on his wife with another younger woman named Nina for a long time now. And essentially, he's going to leave his wife for Nina. And the whole book is just the night before he leaves, and then a little bit after the night he left. And it's essentially just kind of like a stream of consciousness, right? There's not much plot in here at all. Nothing really happens. Like, it's just him thinking about what he's about to do and the potential consequences of it. He goes into some flashbacks. But there's not much of a plot at all. And I was a bit disappointed by this because I have read another book by Hanif Kureishi called The Nothing, which is more recent. That book was published, I think, in 2017. And this one is older. This one is, hold on one second, guys. This one came out in 2000 and, shit, it doesn't even say. There's no... I think this was 07 this came out, but I'm not even finding like a publisher's page in the beginning. It was ripped out. Yeah, it was ripped out. This is a used book, but I think it was 2007. It's older, and this is one of his most famous books. Like, it's his most well-regarded books. So I was excited for it, and I really loved The Nothing, the newer book. But The Nothing is a lot different than this. The Nothing is about a guy who's about to die, who's really old in a wheelchair. He's a director of films, and he suspects that his wife is cheating on him with another man who is also his best friend, and he's plotting revenge against them. That's the plot of The Nothing, which is a really good book, and I recommend that. This one, nothing happens. It's just, he's just thinking the whole time. And some of it is pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie. Some of the things he says, there's some nice quotables. We're going to go into the quotes right now. Let's go to the first one. So this one is talking about how marriage is difficult. And he's thinking about his father and how his father was an unsuccessful novelist who wrote like 6 novels, didn't get any published. And this is what he says. What did father's life show me? That life is a struggle, and that struggle gets you nowhere and is neither recognized nor rewarded. There is little pleasure in marriage. It involves considerable endurance, like doing a job one hates. Talking about his father. Yeah, so he's talking about there's no pleasure in this marriage, and that's a main theme of this book, is the conflict of pleasure and responsibility, and what do you do when those things conflict. And the character is like going against this whole notion of responsibility over pleasure. He's saying, why? So it's a less there's no chivalry in this book, and there's no, I guess, traditional valued notions of loyalty and things like that. So it is interesting to get a different take, and the narrator does have a very interesting voice. I just wish more actually happened in the book, though, because some people really love books like this that are just all voice, stream of consciousness. You know, real literature is what they'll call it. I mean, me personally, though, I like that, but I like it with a good plot, you know? That's my opinion. I like both, not just one or the other. So here's the next quote. So here is, he's debating and thinking about what this, when he leaves, how it's going to affect his two sons. When this is done, and 18 months, say, have passed, as they surely will, there may be another man in this house. He might be sitting where I am now. My sons, if they have nightmares, will go to him. Children who have yet to learn our ways are notoriously promiscuous in their affection. They'll sit on anyone's knee. And that was one of those quotes where I was like, that's so true, though. They will. And if he leaves, he knows that, like, it's going to totally damage the relationship he has with his two kids. And, you know, if a stepdad comes in, they might accept him over the narrator. And even though he's thinking about this and accepting it, he is still trying to leave. He hates the marriage that much. And let's go to the last quote, guys. So here he's in a club towards the end of the book. And he's looking at all the young people. The narrator now is like in his 40s or something. And he's, for the first time, looking at young people as different from him. And it's pretty intriguing. Were we such undemanding zombies? And did we believe that being young was a virtue in itself? Undoubtedly. Do my taxes subsidize their indulgence? Probably. Did my father walk uncomprehendingly about such places, looking for a young woman to hurl himself at? So he's just questioning. He's like, what am I doing? And that is true of, he's thinking about his own dad, as if like, did my dad used to do what I'm doing right now, of just looking for a hot woman in the club to go home with? So this whole book is just him having conflicting ideas of what's right, or if it even matters if something is right when you do it. And I didn't hate it. There were parts of it I quite liked, but again, I'm the kind of reader where I want an interesting story. And there is no story in this. It's just like, it's just very edgy, stream of consciousness, just writing. And the prose is quite nice by Hanif Kureishi. He has a gift with that. And if you're one of the readers that like books like this, you'll like this book. I just personally, I didn't love it. I don't really have a scale on this channel. Yeah, but it's mediocre, in my opinion. It's just forgettable for me, really. You know, it'll probably be one of the first books I offer to trade with someone, if I'm being honest. Just because it's just like, it didn't do anything for me. But I'm not saying that he's a bad writer. Again, the other book I've read by him, I loved. So, and that's what happens, you know. Some writers are hit or miss, just with each book that comes out. So that's that, guys. I'm going to be doing more reviews soon. I'm going to pick up the pace. So, yeah, I've also been writing my own book, so that's been taking a lot of my time. And I'll make a video soon about that, just to give more details about the whole writer struggle. Okay, so I'll smell y'all later. Keep reading. Stay safe out here. Have a good one.